Oh, hi guys, welcome to the latest episode of Cricket Draft Insight. I haven't really posted a video in a while. I'm over that initial buzz of wanting to make a YouTube video every time any cricket related thought crosses my mind. Obviously, I have got Twitter to express myself too, and I'll probably recycle a few tweets during this video. I know I did post a video earlier. That was a slightly lazy version of what I'm going to try and do now. So I just wanted to talk about a few things related to the T20 Blast, mainly just some players who've caught my attention. Wayne Madsen is obviously a standout one. I think was it 5 half centuries in a row. One of those was a century. Then he got 44. Just an absolutely phenomenal performance. David Milan, forgive me if this offends you. David Milan's been in great form. I think it's about three half centuries of 80s, 90s in a row, really helping Yorkshire fight back. It's interesting. Yorkshire looked horrific. I think lost maybe 3 in a row, and then won 3 in a row. Lancashire, on the flip side of that, started quite well and now look really poor. So James Vince, who's obviously had success in the Big Bash and has played for England quite a few times without ever really grasping, owning an England shirt, and Sam Hain, who has never played for England. He's got fantastic numbers across, the domestic formats. And I know a lot of people are saying, what more does he have to do? I do think his numbers have been on an upward trajectory. And I just wonder, are both those players, or just one of them going to get an opportunity later in the year? I think England play 4 T20s against New Zealand, maybe ODIs as well, and they play Ireland. I think that's maybe just ODIs. And you would have thought one-day international cricket is maybe the opportunity to at least get somebody like Sam Hain involved. But it's the one-day World Cup, I think, isn't it? So it might actually be T20s. Not that I'm saying he can't get in, the best teams, one of the best players, but obviously the competition is intense, building towards a major tournament. But at the moment, I think he does merit recognition, and I do think James Vince is worth another opportunity. But like I say, there's lots of players in possession, and obviously not just about form, but when we get to August, I think will we be into the 100? The T20 Blast now, obviously it's relevant, but some time is going to elapse between now and when England play some white ball cricket. There's going to be red ball cricket in between as well. So you hope that, somebody like Hain gets, well-deserved opportunity, that he's still going to be able to make the most of it. Another player that has caught my eye, I did mention about him in a tweet because he had some interesting numbers from last year, and that's Somerset's Ben Green, who is reasonably cheap in the game. Now, he's one of those players, I can't claim to have seen much of him. He might be a fantastic cricketer, but I do think he benefits from the role that he has. So he plays for Somerset. Overton, Gregory, maybe even Van der Merwe often bowl before him. They might take a few wickets. And I know a lot of people say it's a batter's game. I actually think it's more of a bowler's game, particularly when you take pace off, because I think batters have to generate power. And I just think Ben Green, if he gets to come on to bowl a bit later, you're already a few wickets down. You get towards the stage where batters are, just having to try and hit it to the boundary. I know we're trying to hit it to the boundary, but, really going for it, you're already a few wickets in. My opinion is like bowlers should be taking wickets. If all you ever did, I know it might not necessarily always be bowling right at the death, but, if all you ever did was bowl the 18th and the 20th over of a T20 match, I'd expect you to take wickets. So if you're coming on to bowl after good bowlers have already got into the opposition team, you're already into them, well, I'd expect you to take wickets. And I just think he's benefiting slightly from the strength that goes before him making those inroads. Like I say, obviously maybe very good at executing what he does. Certainly as a cricket draft player, starting off in I think like 84k or something, can bat a bit too. Been taking 3 or 4 wicket hauls, so he's been a really worthwhile selection. Another few players to talk about. I tweeted about Freddie Heldreich, so I had him in my team. I was disappointed he didn't play originally, but he's come back into the team now, or come into the team this season. He's done well, taking a few wickets, at least a wicket every game. Took 3 wickets the other day. Now at the start of the season, in comparison with Jake Lintott, so Jake Lintott I know he isn't massively experienced in the grand scheme of things, but he's obviously older. His economy rate was about a run less than Heldrake, and again, Heldrake, reasonably small, 20 odd games in his career. And Lintop played in Bangladesh in the one-day tournament earlier this year, and he took wickets, but he was quite expensive, and he's only got 3 wickets, I think, in this T20 Blast, whereas Heldrake must already be up to 6 or 7. So even though Lintop was about 20k more, and I know a lot of people were big fans, and Heldrake started not in the team, as the two unorthodox slow left armers in comparison at the moment, Heldrake would have been a better selection. On the slow left arm bowling front, which has obviously got a bit of attention with Jack Leach getting injured in the Ashes, and lots of talk there. In another world, well, Danny Briggs might be in the equation when being considered for Test cricket. He's the leading wicket taker in the T20 Blast, and I feel like he still manages to go a bit unnoticed, a bit unloved. I did catch a bit of the Big Bash where he took a bit of tap and he scored some runs, but then he grew into his role and he took wickets. And I know he's supposed to be in the England Lions, and there was a slightly mysterious reason he didn't go on the England Lions tour. But another slow left armer taking wickets in the T20 Blast. Roelof van der Merwe is one I'm learning to love as well. He's obviously in the habit of keeping it tight, and I put him in my team along with Heldrake and Tom Smith. My slow left armer obsession. Tom Smith been steady away. So I had my highest game week last week, which probably isn't something to shout from the rooftops because it wasn't a massively high number. It does make me question how, at the risk of constantly bashing on about how well I did last year, as opposed to how not well I'm doing this year. I finished 222nd in the T20 Blast last year, but I never made 2,000 points in a week. So I must have kind of been consistently good, if not ever extraordinary. So it was nice to get 2,300 points this week. That was without a googly. I semi-wasted my double captain. Afridi and Thompson didn't make the most of it, but I've still got 12th man, and I'm eyeing up, I think, game week 6. So I don't have many players playing 3 times this week, but my squad looks like it should have lots of players playing 3 times that week. So I'm hoping I'll make the most of that then. Michael Bracewell is one of those players, at the risk of just going off calling random players' names. He hasn't quite fired. I obviously had high hopes for him. There was one knock. I think he made 50 odd, 60 odd, at about 200%, a few sixes. He has taken some wickets, some catches, but he's tended to be a bit expensive as well. I also had Worcestershire's Ollie Cox this week because Yorkshire only played once. So I brought Cox in for Tattersall. He did quite well, which left me with a dilemma. But I have taken Cox out to put Tattersall back in to allow me to get another player in who's playing 3 times. So at least, have some chance of getting some points on the board this week. So yeah, just a bit of a random ramble. I hope you're really enjoying the Blast. I hope, like me, you're getting the opportunity to watch a bit of cricket on the streams. I've gone to a match. Hope to go to some more. Particularly watching things on the streams. A lot of my historical following has been online, and names, numbers, scorecards. Obviously, cricket's been behind a paywall since 2005 or so. I hope that these streams are allowing children to just stumble upon them, which is why I hope they don't all go like Kent, and you have to pay to get in. So I hope that people can discover cricket that way. It's really great to see some of the players feel like much less of a fraud when I'm talking about cricket, having actually watched some of them. So I hope you're enjoying watching them, whether that's on TV or real life. Thank you very much once again for watching. How's that?